Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Goodbar Clans Revisited. Yeah, way a long time ago when I was actually doing actual videos, I did a part 1 and a part 2 series of videos. It was called the 7 Goodbar Archetypes, right? And I was talking about, I'm famous for saying those top notch, well, not top notch, but the men that women desire the most as Mr. Goodbars, right? And I think in light of recent videos where I've talked about average looking men getting the most women, I think I really need to clarify that because, some people have read some of the stuff I said, and I've definitely said, women are checking for good looking men. See, I think the problem, it really hit me, the problem is that people think it's a either or, and it's really a both. Also, too, to clarify the average looking men, I ain't saying all average looking men get the top women. Shoot, that should be obvious. I think that's where people get it confused at. I said what I'm saying specifically is that if you look at the men who are getting the most women, and even some cases the best quality women, they tend to be average looking. Tend to be. Now, that's not saying a good looking man ain't gonna get a woman. And in fact, in all my work, I always emphasize men working on their physical appearance. But when you talk about not only quantity and then sometimes quality, a lot of the guys who are really tearing it up are average looking. And I base that on, I say 45 years of observation. 45 years, because I started paying attention when I was 7. And just paying attention, actually knowing who's getting to play and who's not. Not who's even just telling me what play to get, but watching how women are responding to them. Knowing what the women about them are saying or who they going crazy over. See, a lot of stuff I know, I've always been like that ear that women would talk to. See, understand something. A brother said this in one of the comments, and my screen isn't up right now, but if you hear this, brother, shout yourself out in the comments, right? But he said women going to talk to a select man and a non-select man in 2 different ways. They're going to tell a select man all their dirty shit. They're going to say, yeah, I suck balls, I take anal. I've been in a threesome, because they try and tell that select man they down for whatever. But that same non-select man, to a non-select man, they gonna be like, oh no, I'm waiting for that someone special. And ooh, I'd never take a penis in my mouth. Yeah, that's how they gonna talk. And I've known women who would do that. In fact, I had a situation where, actually, because the whole select non-select thing, that's fluid anyway. A man can be both to whoever woman's looking at him, right? But I had a woman who, when she got with me, she was just getting with me, right? But then, she was like, oh, I don't suck dick or anything like that, right? And I ain't really pressing when I said, okay, I ain't really that select too. I'm just something to do, which I was cool with, right? But then this same woman, she gave, later on, another time, she gave me a hell of a blowjob. And I think whatever I did or whatever happened, I just raised up in her eyes. But my point with saying all that is, I've done seen it all. I done seen it all, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, when I talked about those Goodbar clans, those videos are in the description box. That's really illustrating my point. And it's funny, a lot of people have seen those videos and still don't get what I'm really saying. It's because the argument has always come down to people think, oh, you gotta be good. You gotta be. No, you don't have to be. It helps. It's preferable. But if you don't have the genetics, what you gonna do? Because see, this is what I'm basing it on. Like I said, I'm out there. I've seen it. I mean, you could say good looking guy or tall guy, but then there's always that short dude who's fucking everything, who got women going crazy over. And you watching the women going crazy over them, or filling them up, or they telling you, yeah, I'm pressed about it. And some women will tell you, Yeah, they like that type of guy. Or you see that dude who even another man would call ugly, getting with the baddest women, and he ain't spending money. And I've seen that because I knew the dude. Dude didn't have money. You seen that. You see all this. See, you can't, people saying stuff, but then you got to ask yourself, okay, so you never seen this dude do it or get it like that. Or even with the good looking men, it's like, well, if you good looking, you going to automatically get it. But yet, and I've seen this on several videos where someone is talking about this. You'll get a guy in the comments saying, I'm good looking, but they ain't feeling me like that. And the guys are telling you looking at them. If you got that belief, it's just good looking men. You're going to think, well, what's wrong with them? In fact, some women will think that. Now, just in general, women are going to go for that good-looking guy, especially in the black community. In general, that's going to be their ideal. They're going to say they want that 6'2", all of that. In real life, though, there might some guy who don't have all those things to get in there and be able to get theirs. Because the thing with women, for whatever reason, they will have that ideal they'll go for and even try to stick to sometime. But then if you start paying attention or, just drive past a place or at the right time, you'll see her with some guy you probably never want to be seen with in public. Like this old school play in the DC area, right? He said, all women have a man. All of them just don't have a presentable man. All right. So, and when I talk, I'm talking about the entire game. I ain't just talking about, just what y'all seeing in public. I'm also talking about what's happening behind closed doors. Because a lot of those women, there was another brother, he said, shout yourself out in the comments. Like I said, when I'm doing these things, I don't have it up. Maybe I'll get slick one day and set up my laptop too, so I can look for comments while I'm talking and stuff. Be all fancy and whatnot. Get a little table and stuff. Looking like Batman in the Batcave with all these monitors up, right? But he said it. He said his father told him that, women have some guys for show and other guys for blow. And see, I'm looking at it from the perspective of the bottom line. Who actually getting the poo? Who's getting the most? And the guys for blow, the ones that women are going to cheat with, they ain't always the top looking guy. It could be that guy who, he just packing, or he good with that tongue or something. In fact, a lot of women, when it's just sex and they know they don't need to be seen with that guy, on the for real, his face don't really matter. Because they don't need that. They ain't trying to impress nobody. They looking at the skill. All right? Now, and I think that's part of the problem. A lot of guys don't understand how women really getting down. They don't have the experience. But when it just come down just to that dick, and women don't care. Just like men. Now, I know I just did a video a couple days ago talking about many men don't cheat. But there's still those cheaters out there. And even Michael Basin said this. He said this in his book, Never Satisfied, How and Why Men Cheat. He said when a man looking for a woman to cheat, she don't have to be pretty. She just need to be able to fuck. Well, women the same fucking way. So in that vein, though, when I talk about the Goodbar clans, and, even though in general I'll say, yeah, Mr. Goodbar is a good-looking guy with a nice body and stuff, that's just general. That's like saying, the typical football player is going to be some big stocky motherfucker, right? But then you got some slim dudes out there and some small dudes. Some dudes are a little bit taller than average out there doing stuff. Now, just a real quick thing, talking about the 7 archetypes of Goodbars. And if anybody remembers, I did a blog on that a while ago, and that'll be appearing. I'll be reprinting that in my upcoming book. But if you look at the 7 that I mentioned, I talk about the face men. Those are the pretty boys. Those are guys who going to get it on just their looks, just their facial features, like whatever reason. But see, there's not a lot of them. Very few men are going to get a woman just because of his face. And usually when I say face, that's usually because of his lips and eyes. Like women look at it, think it's sexy eyes or something, or pretty eyes. Like eyes really drive women crazy, right? And then you got the muscle men. They're gonna get the women because of their, they built. Women gonna go crazy. And then also in physical, I said big men. Like if you look at a lot of players, and this is once again from experience. I don't. None of this game I learned by reading anything. I'm up here seeing who's actually getting pussy and who ain't. A lot of big dudes, if they're kind of big, a lot of stocky dudes. I think people sleep on stocky dudes. It's kind of funny to me. Maybe the stocky dudes are the ones for the blow. But elbows every. It's rare. Like let's put it like this. It's hard to meet a stocky dude who just ain't just getting nothing. Yeah, at the very least, they got at least one woman sweating them. But I swear, you got some stocky dudes, right? Some big men. You get that dude about 6'5", 300 or something. It ain't just the height or, the body type or something. The typical football player build. I don't know what it is, or they might be like, maybe not cut, but, solid. Maybe, a little bit of gut, just a little bit of something. They be tearing up some shit. It never fails. You get those stocky dudes be tearing up some shit. But anyway, the face men, muscle men, big men, stocky men, yeah, they get it on physicality. But when I talked about the Goodbar clans, I also talked about 4 types of guys who get it, and they might be average looking on just a pure genetic physical basis. They might be slim, some could be overweight, not even stocky, but just overweight, whatever. But they gonna get to play more because of a mental thing, right? They gonna get it, and that's when and they average looking. But see, a lot of times people just see the average looking dude and wondering why he getting played, because they just looking at the looks, but they don't know about his personality. I identified 4 personalities that a man, if a man has this in general, he gonna get plenty of women. I talked about the style cats. Style's more of a mental thing. Yeah, it's a physical thing in terms of, you got the watch game going, you got the shoe game going, the suit game going, eyeglass game going. But it's a mental thing to put all that together. That is a mental discipline. Style is that should be studied. Seriously, that's something you can learn too. You can take courses on that. You can take courses on that. Shout out Kevin Samuels again. Every time I talk about style, I gotta talk about Kevin Samuels, right? He's going to show you style. I can look at it, how he carrying it, how he wearing the glasses, how he got the watch. Style, that's a almost a spiritual discipline. No joke. Because trust me. Because even myself, like me, most of the time I'm just casual, because I don't work for anybody, so I'll just be, most of the time you're gonna see me in workout clothes, like casual stuff. But then if like I got like an author expo that's coming up in December, and I'll let y'all know, especially for people who are near Harford County, Maryland, right? I'll let y'all know when it comes closer. But I'm already thinking about when I'm wearing. I gotta get a whole new outfit for it, even though it's a few hours. That's how much. And when I'm doing anything public, I plan my outfit out meticulously. I'll plan it out meticulously. And it could be, I'll spend several $100s or something, but trust me, it's for the sales. But that's a mental thing. I can't just walk in there and just put on something. I gotta think, all right, how does this look on my skin? What this convey? Everything, right? So that's more of a mental thing, right? So you get an average looking dude, he get that style, he drive a woman crazy. And Kevin Samuel said this in a recent video of his. He said that'll give you about 3 points. I don't care where you at, you got the right style, it bumps you up 3 points. Women go crazy. And I've said this all the time, women will suck a dick off of good pair of shoes. I've seen it. And for the brothers out there thinking, oh, well, I'll give me a white woman or something, they won't care. Nah, they care too. They look too. They just quieter about it. But they look too. And when I talk about the mental thing, the bad boys. Now, everybody know they done seen some cat over here. He average looking, maybe even ugly, but he just got that attitude that drive women crazy. He just a bad boy. He a rebel. And at the lightest form, he a rebel. Sometimes he actual criminal, right? Sometimes, you talk about these guys going for thugs and whatnot. Now, I personally said, thugs might look good to a woman, but all of them don't. They might have like that face and muscle and even some style, but it's really just come down to the attitude. Or you get those goon types, and you get some women, they go crazy over that goon type because of the woman's personality. They want to feel like the man they with will lay out a body. Especially if they in the hood or something. Women get off on that. They see somebody fucking somebody up. They getting wet. You got plenty of women want that Debo dude. The dude could look a little crazy, but if that dude willing to beat somebody's ass on her behalf, he good with it. And before somebody calls somebody like that, oh, he just a simp. Nah, go in that dude's face and tell him he's a simp. Go tell a goon he's a simp. Just seriously, just walk right up to him and tell him he's a simp. All right, I'm just being real. But that's still a mindset thing. The bad boy thing is a mindset. It's a mentality, all right? And that drives a woman crazy because of, for whatever reason, that rebellious behavior or that thuggish behavior, even criminal behavior, turn her on. And then I talked about cool dudes. You got some cats who are just cool. They might not be the most dominant dude or, most handsome. It might not even be stylish, but you get some dudes, they just so cool. Because what happens with the cool dude, they get a woman's defenses down. And she get nice and comfortable. And for people who picked up my book, Sexual Chemistry, and I got a link in the description box for a signed book, I talk about making a woman comfortable. If you want to turn on a woman, you can get her comfortable. So you get some dude who real cool, kind of laid back. He can get in. Because I knew this dude, right? This is one of the biggest players I know, right? And he had a slim build and everything. I ain't sure what women thought about his face. He didn't have style, though. Even though this dude worked in a government installation, that dude looked like he dressed with he looked like he dressed without a mirror. So I just look at him sometimes, but this dude would have like just so many numbers. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, this dude just had mad game, but he was cool as shit. That dude would talk to a woman and she would be like just relaxed. He'd get a woman relaxed because I knew a couple that messed with him. And they was like, yeah, dude. That's the type of dude sit there, talk with a woman, and get her all calm because he talked calm. He was like very calm, cool. You get her relaxed and see if you, like I said, you get a woman relaxed, you get her comfortable. She started getting turned on. She ready to go to the motel right then. He actually said that to me. He said, yeah, that woman's ready to go to the motel with me. Right? But that's a mental thing. Right? And then you got, I talked about the leaders. Most people in this society are built to lead. Women especially, they are built to follow. I don't care. Feminism, all these women call themselves alpha women and stuff, think they take charge. I've met women who publicly would take charge, but then behind closed doors, they were willing to submit to a man to follow a man. So you understand one basic thing about a woman's sexual nature. It works best when it's in an act of submission. That's why you'll get a lot of women who will take charge outside of the home and everything. But once they get behind closed doors, they submissive pussycats. Some women even get into BDSM and stuff like that they'll be like the submissives in there. And I don't care. And I've seen this I've experienced this. I've had a lot of women say they take charge. You see them out in public, you wouldn't think they would follow a man for anything, but you get them behind closed doors, extremely submissive, right? And see, people in general will follow somebody who's take charge. They will follow that leader type. That's once again a mental thing. That's not a physical thing. Now you get a guy, right? Say he's average looking, say he ain't very muscular. He ain't a bad boy. But if he's a natural leader, especially that type who, like, when all hell's like falling down, he just takes over, take charge type of guy, like real take charge type of guy. He ain't asking, he just gonna go do, or he's just gonna lead, he's gonna speak up. That type who, if there's some, neighborhood need to be cleaned up, he just gonna go out there and do it. That will turn on some women. In fact, that's one thing. I've talked to a lot of women. They say, look, they want a guy who's going to lead. So, and check all that out. Check out the videos I had. Check out some of my books. But, my bottom line with even doing this video, yes, good looking men get play. They just not the only ones. That's it. And then when I talk about it's average looking men who get the most play, that don't mean every single average looking man, or even in general. Basically, it's saying if you look at the men who are getting the most play, they tend to be average looking. The most play, the most attention. Believe it or not, then don't count like these guys on Instagram or whatever. You know, those are just pictures. I'm talking about if you look at who got what going on, you know, it's those guys. Like I knew this one guy, he was a player. He was a player, but he was also part of a Christian sect that was like, you know, man, patriarchal and all of that. Women went crazy over him. Because he was like, you know, you get some dudes, they like, nah, we going to do this traditional patriarchal ass shit. And some women, despite all the political whatever out here, still going to follow that. So, you know, that's it. I want people to think about that. Get out of the either or thing. It's a big tent on the type of guys who want to get women. All right? So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.